Welcome back. Do you ever go out farming and come home with buckets full of Hochenblume? Do you ever find yourself flying in circles around the Dragon Isles looking for writhebark, saxifrage and bubble poppy, but all you can find is Hochenblume? Well, stay tuned, because I've got some tips on how to avoid Hochenblume as much as possible. Alright, first we need to go back to basic, look at the fundamentals. How do herbs spawn in World of Warcraft? Now, this will only take a second and some of you may already be across this, but let's just go through it real quick. In World of Warcraft, herbs can only spawn in a small number of preset, predetermined locations. Herbs cannot spawn just anywhere. They can only spawn in the places that have been set by the developers. Now if you've got an add-on like Gathermate, then it will plot on the minimap the exact places where herbs can spawn. Right, so most people are already aware of this. If you look at the minimap now, there are 4 possible locations for this particular writhebark to spawn. And when I get closer, you can see that a writhebark has indeed spawned in one of these locations. Alright, that's the basics of how herbs spawn in World of Warcraft. Now they made an important change to this in Shadowlands, and it stuck around in Dragonflight. And what they did is they introduced weeds into the game. Now Hochenblume is a weed. It can spawn everywhere. It's not very useful and it's not worth very much. So the way it works is Hochenblume does not actually have any spawn points of its own. Instead, Hochenblume will actually spawn in place of one of the other 3 herbs. So let's take a look at how that works. So right here, there are 4 possible locations for a writhebark to spawn. But, as I get closer, you'll see that a Hochenblume has spawned instead of a writhebark. This means that writhebark will not be able to spawn here until someone comes along and picks their goddamn Hochenblume. And that's the mechanics. That's the way it works. So let's look at an example. Here's a map of the zone, and these are all the places a writhebark could spawn. Now in some of these places a Hochenblume is going to spawn instead. And what happens in reality is people fly around the zone looking for writhebark and they pick it all. Now some of those writhebark will respawn as new writhebark, but some of them will respawn as Hochenblume. And as this cycle repeats, more people pick the writhebark, more Hochenblume spawns, and eventually you're left with an entire zone filled mostly with Hochenblume. So that brings us to the last question. How do we capitalize off this? What can we do to take advantage of this? Well, if you're only planning on herbing for say 10 to 15 minutes, then I say go for it. Just go through and pick all the good stuff. Ignore the Hochenblume and let it be someone else's problem. But if you're herbing for a longer period of time, it really does kind of become a problem that you're going to have to deal with. You are going to have to pick the Hochenblume to force new herbs to spawn, but you have to be smart about it. Don't just fly around the zone weeding all the Hochenblume so that other punks can come along and cherry pick the good stuff. Instead, you're going to want to find a nice quiet corner of the map and fly some nice quick tight laps, picking everything you see. If you make the lap short enough and fly around quick enough, then you will be the first one there to take advantage of the respawns. So for the first lap, you'll probably get a lot of Hochenblume, but the second laps should have much better herbs respawning. Now I'm working on some videos with some routes for Dragonflight. These will show you the good places to go to get lots of writhebark, saxifrage and bubble poppy. So if you're keen to see where I recommend you farm, then I should hopefully have some videos up about that soon. Now go forth, pick some herbs and get rich. See you next time.